Welcome back, gang. So it is now June, which means we need to do another business update for how we did in May. So just getting right into it, we sold $3,600, just over $3,600 through the website. Now, we also track the local sales, but I don't track what exactly sold. I only track the dollar amount for taxes, obviously. We did $3,600 in May, but for comparison purposes, in April was our worst month. But in April, we sold right around 2,300. This puts May right around our second best month of the year, with our best being 4,700 in March. Now, with that being said, locally, we've done extremely well again this month. It's been our best month locally, so that's awesome. We're obviously killing it locally. It kind of surprised me. I thought my online sales would pick up and do a little bit better than my local sales. Local sales, I try not to put, like booster boxes and like more better stuff because I want that to go to the website. I want to be known for having, everything on the website. But locally, I try to sell, stuff that's not moving as well on the website. I'll try to sell that locally, as well as, like collection boxes and stuff like that. So we did 6,900 nice locally this month, which is definitely by far our best. I think our next closest was like 5,500 or like $5,000, somewhere around there. So that essentially puts us at our first month at $10,000 in sales. Yeah, that's awesome. We've officially hit 5 figures in 1 month. Now, obviously, you're not going to see that with the Wix analytics or whatever you want to call it, because a lot of those sales came locally and it's just me doing cash sales or like Venmo sales and stuff like that. So that's just getting tallied on my, I guess it's a Google sheet or whatever you want to call it. So that, basically what I do is I make a sale locally, or I have to ship something locally with, not going through the website. And then I just take, whatever the sale is, and I just tally the number and I just keep adding it all together. And then at the end of the month, that's our total. And then I move into June. Now, you may ask, what was the top selling items? Well, thanks for asking, Buttercup. As I basically just mentioned, I don't track what individual items sold locally. I just track the sales, the dollar figure for taxes. So I can't really tell you what sold the best locally. However, I can tell you what sold best on the website because Wix tracks that. And that was none other than perfect order booster boxes. And I know that kind of blows my mind as well. Now, that is just in the terms of pure dollar amounts. The second best in pure dollar amounts was, again, Ascended Heroes ETBs, Ascended Barney. There's no surprise there, although they have definitely slowed down moving for me because I think they're just too expensive and people are just like, well, I think everybody's expecting a reprint, to be fair. And it's tough to say what's going to happen there. Now, in terms of items via volume sold, it is going to be Gem Pack Volume 5, followed by a tie with First Partners Series 1, Gem Pack Volume 4, and Chaos Rising booster bundles. So I think Chinese will continue to do well, especially with the new Chinese Prismatic Evolutions coming out, I think in a couple weeks, if not a week. I'd have to double check on the release date on that. We will carry it as long as it's not, stupidly overpriced. I have a feeling some items might be stupidly overpriced, but it'll eventually come down to the point where it'll make sense, and hopefully people will still want it. You're getting an exclusive Sylveon artwork, which is pretty cool, and you're essentially getting a UPC, which is way, way better than our UPCs, just my 2 cents. And you're also getting our figure collection promos are going to be their UPC promos, essentially. So I can't imagine that does not do very well. I'm really, really hoping it's not, over $100 for the UPC. You're getting 15 packs, promo cards, like a playmat, just some really, really nice stuff. And then you have all the other, prismatic packs or whatever. They have like a coin, a badge, a binder, stuff like that I think would complement very well. And so, yeah, I'm just really hoping that stuff's not expensive, because if it's not, I will buy a ton of it. I will try to get as much as I can at as cheap as price I can, so that way, my customers can have it. Because now, being that Gem Pack Volume 4 and Gem Pack Volume 5 brought me so many new customers, we'll talk about that in a little bit, people know me for Chinese now. Now, I did try the Chinese 151C surprise boxes however long ago they were. However, I guess I bought like at the top of the market, and then I don't know if a reprint happened or what, but a lot of that pricing came crashing down. I don't know if it's because so many fakes came to the market, because I started looking at eBay and I was like, well, this guy's more expensive than I am and he sold a ton, but then you have a bunch that are really cheap. I don't really know. So I just stay away from eBay, I stay away from all of that, and I just buy from my Chinese supplier, and I know that they have legit product. So I'm not really worried about me getting fake stuff, but that's just because I know where I'm getting it. eBay and stuff like that, that's really anyone's guess, let's be real. Yeah, I really think Chinese is going to keep doing well. I'm excited for the prismatic to come out. If you are looking for that as well, make sure you look at the links in the description of the video. You can shop the website, you can join our emailing list and join our Discord. I do ping in the Discord whenever, something new I have drops or whatever. And, I send out emails when I can. There's an update with that as well. We're going to get to that later. But Chinese is definitely where I'm going to be going moving forward. I think for the 30th anniversary, I will also get Japanese as long as it's not stupid expensive because, it's the 30th anniversary, right? How many people are actually going to get this in English? Who really knows yet? They might just print a crap ton like they did with the 25th. Who knows? But I think as long as the Japanese isn't stupidly overpriced, a lot of people are still going to want the Japanese stuff. And it's just unfortunate that Abyss Eye turned out the way it did. And I'm just like, I'm sure if I bought more, I would be able to sell them. I already sold the boxes that I pre-ordered. I took my loss and I cut my losses there. I was like, I'm done. Like, it just doesn't make sense because all the price collusion and all that crap going on, like, I'm done. They're canceling orders, stuff like that. Like, I'll sit that set out. I sold a couple boxes and that's it. So if you know me for Japanese and you were looking for it, I'm sorry, but it's just not worth the headache and the hassle right now, especially when English stuff just keeps going up and up and up. And you can pretty much get English stuff for 80% from majority of people, and then I can put it for 95-ish% and sell it that way, and I'm doing pretty good. And then I don't have to worry about, Japanese getting a massive reprint and tariffs and shipping prices and transfer fees, and then it's going to take 2 weeks to get here, or it's going to take a week to get here, whatever it does. I don't have to worry about none of that. So for me, it just made more sense to not worry about it with this set and, stay with English and Chinese now. And like we've said earlier, Chinese is doing great. So I'm going to continue to do Chinese. As I said in previous video, it's kind of bridging the gap between, now you have Chinese that's for the most part pretty cheap. Gem Pack Volume 4 and 5 are like $30 and $40 on my website. And they have some pretty good chases. They have exclusive artworks. You have another Captain's Pikachu with Gem Pack Volume 5. And you have the Paldea starters with more exclusive artworks. And then Gem Pack Volume 4 has the exclusive artwork Ponyta, which is a very cute, beautiful card. But they're so cheap that it almost makes sense. You have a cheap box that's, $30, $40 here, and then you have Japanese now that's $130 a booster box, or $140 a booster box to $200 a booster box. And then you have, English, which is anywhere between $200 to $300 a booster box essentially on release. Even Perfect Order is like $230 now. Chaos Rising is like $260. So yeah, it's like stepping stairs. So, if you can't afford that $260 booster box, you used to be able to go for the Japanese stuff, which would be, $70 to like $120. Well, now it's so expensive that insert Chinese, that plugs that gap now. So if you're looking for a budget rip or budget stuff for kids or whatever, Chinese Pokemon is basically what you're going to be wanting. And I think that's why it sold so well, is people were just looking for a cheap box to crack packs, rip, whatever, just have a good time with. So moving on to more website details, we are now up to 261 email subscribers. And that means at some point in the near future, very near future, I'm kind of hoping for a sale for maybe 4th of July or one of these holidays coming up for more emails. As I've said to a couple people in the Discord, you have to pay for emails, which not a lot of people know that. Personally, I didn't know that until I made a store, but I'm capped at 500. So that means I can't even send 2 emails a month anymore. And every automated email where it's like, oh, you placed an order, you get an email. You signed up for the email list, you get an email. Oh, your order shipped, you get an email. That all comes out of that 500 emails as well. So I definitely need to increase my emails, which would effectively double my cost. And I think it would go up to like $25 a month or something like that. Now, the nice thing with Wix is a lot of holidays, they run like a 50% off sale or like a 25% off sale on emails and stuff like that. So I am essentially looking for one of those sales to happen, and then I would just buy, a month or not a month, a year or 2 years or whatever they allow me to buy at that 50% discount essentially. And then, that makes it worth it, because who really wants to pay $25 a month just to send emails? That's kind of a ripoff in my mind, but it's cost of doing business, and you just wrap that into your profit margin essentially. But if I can save that 50% a month for 2 years or whatever, I'm gonna do that. So I'm trying to wait as long as possible, but at some point I might just have to do it. So May brought us a crazy new amount of customers. Again, most of these new customers bought Chinese, or they bundled the Chinese with some Japanese, or they bundled it with some cheaper English stuff, but still it's new customers that now know me that I have Chinese. So we got 14 new customers in the month of May, which is by far the most amount of new customers we've ever had in a month. And hopefully I can keep, maybe 2 of those as repeat customers. Maybe they come back and buy more Gem Pack Volume 4 or 5, or maybe they come back and buy Chinese Prismatic, or they bundle that with Chaos Rising Booster Bundle, whatever it is. That would be huge for us, because I need to keep getting more repeat customers that want to shop with me, want to support me, want to support the channel, want to support the shop, because I think I do a very good job with packaging orders, getting stuff out on time, and I think I'm very competitive with pricing. And then I think a lot of my videos have really good content. I'm just bad at delivering it. So, if there's entertainment value there as well, I guess. But 14 new customers in a month for such a small store like mine, I think that's massive, and hopefully we can build off of that in the month of June. So as with every previous month, and I'd expect it's like this for pretty much every other card shop, most of our sales come from direct links, which my understanding of that is, correct me if I'm wrong, I post a link on, say, Discord, and people use that link to then purchase something. That would, to me, in my understanding, that would be a direct link. However, we got 5 orders from Google this month, which is organic. I'm not spamming links somewhere. I'm not sending people links. So that's awesome to hear. To me, that's kind of crazy. One person joined the Discord from that, like from Google, and placed an order. And so I asked them, I was like, how'd you find us? And they're like, oh, I found you on Google. And I was like, no way. Like, where'd you find us? And they're like, oh, you were on the 3rd page in search results. I was like, that's crazy. Like, who even goes past the 1st page anymore? But I guess people still do that. And, to be on the 3rd page, I'm sure there's hundreds of pages of Pokemon shops. So maybe I did something decent with the SEO. I have no idea how that stuff works. But maybe I did something good with SEO. Maybe Google scraped my images or something. I have no idea. But yeah, that's crazy awesome to hear. We got Discord members out of that. We got orders out of that. That's awesome. Kind of, hearing something like that just made me feel pretty good about myself and good about the shop. I don't know what it is. Same thing with like people saying, oh, my buddy ordered from you. They told me about you, word of mouth with the shop spreading and stuff like that. That gives you like a warm fuzzy feeling as well. It just feels great, because you're like, hey, I know I'm doing a good job. People are telling other people that I'm doing a good job, and like, it's worth checking out. So anyway, to get back on topic, I also got 2 orders through YouTube. So that's YouTube doing YouTube things. Again, I don't know how that doesn't qualify as a direct link, because I put the direct link under my YouTube, but I guess because it's linked from YouTube, I don't know. But they consider that organic as well. So that's cool. That's content doing content things. And then I got an order through Reddit. Actually, I got 2 orders through Reddit, and I don't know who posted my link or where they posted my website on Reddit, but whoever did that, thank you, because I got 2 brand new customers because of that. Would have never found me beforehand. So yeah, I'm very grateful for whoever posted that, wherever you did, and thank you, because like I said, 2 new customers. I sold some more Chinese for that. 2 new people know I exist now, so thank you for that. I think that's pretty much all I have. Oh, the Discord is up to 90 something members, 92 members, something like that. So we're almost at 100 members. That's awesome to hear as well. I never in a million years ever thought I'd get to 100 members on Discord and 260 plus email subscribers. And so that's, just proof that we continue to slowly grow each month. And, maybe in a year or 2 years, maybe somewhere we'll get a big jump where it just, jumps up big. But I don't expect big jumps. I like seeing the slow growth, because it shows that, the shop's growing, the Discord's growing, email list is growing, YouTube's growing. I mean, we just hit 430 subscribers on YouTube. And, I've been at this for almost a year and a half now, and I'm just getting to 430. So, the grind to 1,000 is extremely slow for me. And, there's a lot of learning curves and stuff in that. Learning curves with the website, learning curves with emails and shipping different things and price points and how much to set your shipping cost. There's just so many different learning curves that I had no idea what I was getting into when I started this. And now I'm kind of getting an idea, and it's like, it opened up my eyes to like how all these other businesses were doing it. Cause you go to some businesses and you're like, oh, I want to order this, but then it's like $30 to ship that. What? But now I understand, and sometimes, you go to a website and something doesn't work and you're like, oh, I know why that doesn't work, because I was the same way. Like, I didn't have a working cart button on my website for the first like year I had a website. I didn't have automated emails for a long time. So people weren't getting shipping emails, or people weren't getting just stupid emails. I don't even think people were getting congratulations for signing up for our email list emails until like 2 months ago, or maybe it was like 2 weeks ago. They all blend together, but stuff like that, I've never set that stuff up, never understood how to do it, and now it's kind of coming together. So that's pretty much all I have for you guys. Watch my previous video to watch my journey of selling my collection to buy a house. We have some deals already set for the month of June to really jumpstart that. A lot of them are sports instead of Pokemon, but it is my sealed collection. I do some sports. I said do. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys. Thanks for a great month of May. This is Max Pax signing out.